everybody knows e-commerce is huge. You know, this is the latest data that just came out last week from Forrester Research. E-commerce is expected to grow at 10% consecutively, cumulative annual growth rate for the next 5 years, from 226 billion to 327. Very few categories can claim that kind of growth, so it's really big. And some other cool stats is 167 million people shop online today. That's 53% of the population. It's going to go up to 192 million by 2016. And an average U.S. e-commerce user spends about $1,200 now, and they're expected to spend about $1,700 in 2016. So the numbers are all in favor of e-commerce. Now, when you think about e-commerce, and I know some of you have online stores, some of you are planning to set up one, you got to think really more holistically about e-commerce, because the lines are blurring between online and offline and all these different channels. And when you think about multi-channel e-commerce, so if you have a brick and mortar store and you're not taking advantage of the brick and mortar component of the online piece, you're losing on the table. You don't want to become what they call a digital showroom for Amazon, because into $50–60 million in annual online sales. These could be small merchants, it could be larger divisions of large enterprise like Sears and so on. So we kind of grouped these success factors. So if you want to really do well in e-commerce, you got to think holistically about e-commerce. And we put together these 20 different areas of excellence. Not everything applies to all, but I think something to think about, from e-commerce platform, which is your customer-facing website, marketing, which is a huge component of the e-commerce business, CRM, which is getting a 360 view of the customer, and then on the back office, it's no longer sufficient just to sell the product, because you're selling at such slim margins that you've got to operate really efficiently. Otherwise, you're going to lose money on the back end in terms of margins. If you want to succeed at all those different 20 success factors that I showed you earlier, how do you make it all happen? You know, one of the things here, session I was asked is to give some advice on what kind of systems and applications to use. These are not my recommendations, by the way. Simply, if you're a small and mid-sized retailer or somebody interested, in order to make all that happen, what are your choices? So you'll set up an online store. You know, you can use anywhere from a low-end Yahoo store all the way to something very sophisticated like a Demandware. Then you need to plug it in with a order management system, which is another application. Then you need a system to print your shipping labels and all that kind of stuff, which can be something that you might get from UPS, but if you want to do multi-carrier, then you need a tool like that. And CRM is kind of in the middle. Some people don't have a dedicated CRM. And then your accounting data is in an application like a QuickBooks or Microsoft Great Plains or so on. Just getting a plain vanilla e-commerce storefront is not really sufficient, because no matter how small or big you are, you're competing with the likes of Amazon. If you sell what Amazon sells, you're competing with them. Unfortunately, that's the truth. So the consumer is not forgiving. They're not going to let you go because you're a small merchant and they want to do business with you. They expect pretty much the same level of sophistication. So if you want to provide that experience that our keynote speaker was talking about, the customer experience, we need to think about these specialized technologies that you need to deploy on your online store, which is site search, an advanced site search, which has things like auto-correction of spelling. It will figure out what you mean, and it will give you parameters to search on. Transactional email. Now, because we all get so many marketing emails, I don't open most of them. I delete, boom, boom, boom. Or if I don't unsubscribe from them. But the emails that do get open are the transactional emails, are the emails that are order confirmation email. As soon as you place an order, you're looking for those emails. Hey, did my order actually make it? And the email is a confirmation of that, and you're waiting for that. There's an opportunity to do some upsell and cross-sell from there. There's an opportunity to build your brand in those emails. And other emails are things like shipping notification. You're waiting. When is my order coming? Did it ship? Did it not? So those are great opportunities that I urge you to think about, that you can generate some additional clicks from those emails. And then marketplaces. If you're not selling through online marketplaces, you should think about that, Amazon and eBay, because that's becoming a destination. Customers are not often going to your site. They're going to a marketplace like Amazon, and they're beginning their search there. So you could actually get some orders through Amazon in addition to your own website. And ratings and reviews, I mean, I think everybody here, when you're looking for a new product, you want to know what other people think of it. You want to know how much rating and reviews it's got, and that's the consumer-generated content. It also has SEO benefit. If you had a system that would automatically send out these product review emails to customers, say 10 days after the product ships, automate it. That's great because it's on autopilot. Email goes out, customer gets it, they're happy, they go and they want to share that experience. I mean, customers are unbelievably sharing. You know, we would imagine that people don't want to post. No, actually, people want to post about their reviews, their experiences. So our clients are getting a ton of user-generated content that's keeping them up on the SEO front, and that's one way to compete with the larger players in the market as well. And personalization. Now that's a step beyond. You know, when you're ready, there are tools now that will enable you to look at consumers' click stream, they call it, like the every action that they take on their website. There are web analytics systems that will record that and that will spit out, you know, if I saw this product, who else bought this product along with this? Or which item did I look at last? And I came 3 times and I looked at this item in all 3 of my visits over the last week. Now that's a clear signal that you're interested in that product. Let us bump that product up to the home page or the category featured page so that you get you're immediately reminded of that product when you come back to the website. So I'm going to just share a couple of strategies, and then I'm going to get into some real tactics or examples so you can take a look at some of the things that we're talking about. Nothing is brand new. I think you all already know most of the stuff, but it's just sometimes good to be reminded of the things that matter and just reiterating some of the big trends that are going on. If you're a small to mid-sized retailer, you cannot afford to go broad. You can do what Amazon does. That strategy is not applicable to small to mid-size. You gotta laser focus. I mean, if you sell pet medication, you know, you're going to rank higher because if that's all you sell, that's your brand. If you start selling pet toys and pet clothing and pet, carts and so on, it's really hard because there are category leaders in that space that have far bigger marketing budgets than you do. So it's really, I think, micro-targeting and laser-sharp focus is extremely critical for success online because there are no physical barriers to entry. There's nothing like you have to buy a physical store and spend $10,000 on a lease over a 10-year commitment. So it's really critical that I would highly recommend that, you know, sometimes less is more, and if your clients are selling a lot of stuff, you might want to really drill down and micro-target. Multi-channel. This chart, if you look at 2000, you see that 75% of the business used to originate directly from your website in 2000. And if you move over to 2010, you'll see that has dropped from 75% to just 9%. Meaning customers in 2000 used to go directly to your website, type in your URL, and buy the products. Now, only 1 out of 10. Where is the shift happening? 27% of the people go to a online marketplace like Amazon or eBay. 44% go to Google or search. That's where they begin their shopping experience. And 13% go to comparison shopping sites like shopping.com, Shopzilla, and things like that. And the green and the blue at the top are the mobile and social, which are growing really fast. So I think you really need to think about in terms of adopting a multi-channel strategy. Mobile, I mean, everybody knows mobile is huge, but just in terms of numbers, they're just growing at an astounding rate. It's from 3.5 billion right now, it's going to go to 10 times that in 2015 to 131 billion. So, and mobile customers are known to spend more. So somebody who's buying using a mobile device actually the stats show that they spend almost twice as much as the average consumer, and they're far more loyal to your brand. So I think this is something that, and there are a number of tools, by the way, that can help you go mobile very, very quickly and easily. A couple of names I like to throw out is a company called Unbound Commerce. There's another company called mShopper. I'll be here after the chat as well if you need more names. But there are a bunch of easy, Digby, if you're a big company and want to go mobile with location-based kind of stuff. Social is huge, and I will, Gary, I'll try to spend a little bit of time towards the end about social, but we can chat afterwards. Social is huge. I mean, from 1 billion in 2011 to 14 billion. So that's a big shift that's happening. People want to buy, but I will tell you one thing, that social is not, adopting a good social strategy is trickier and more difficult. In fact, just last week, a number of companies have actually shut down their Facebook stores, like GameStop and Gap. I believe they just shut down because it wasn't really producing the ROI. So social is not about direct sell, hard sell. It's really about brand building and soft sell. So we got to adopt social. And if you have a choice between mobile and social, again, if you had where to allocate your resources, I would say go with mobile first, because it's mobile is more of a device, it's delivery. It's really not a change in paradigm, except that it's just a different interface. International. Now, everybody thought that people in the US buy the most online, but if you look at the stats, you'll see that US only accounts for 29% of global e-commerce sales, by the way. So that's less than 1/3. US e-commerce sales grew 14% last year, and is expected to grow at 10% over the next 5 years. Global sales, e-commerce is going to grow twice that, at 19%. So if you have a product and a brand that has international appeal that people elsewhere might want to buy, you really need to put it out there and optimize for those countries and try to get those visitors. And there are services, by the way, that make it easy to sell international. There's companies like Bongo, International Checkout, E4X, where you can actually ship your products to a local US address, and they'll forward it to the customer in the foreign country and take care of all the customer service, customs, duties, all the other stuff, logistics. So it's easier than you think. So the international is something I'd urge you to look at. And obviously, as you can see, that consumers in Asian countries, especially South Korea, Japan, they are plugged in. They're buying stuff online far more than we are here. When you think about a perfect e-commerce solution, and the people who have an e-commerce store, the ones that are planning to start one, these are some tactical tips and advice that I think make for a great e-commerce solution. So things that you should think about. There are about 15 or 20 of these that I'm going to share. You only need to pick up a few that apply to you, and that can make a big difference. This is all about conversion, high conversion. Start out with a niche site and apply some of these tools. Number one, having a universal or always on shopping cart. It's a cart that sneaks out when you add an item to the cart and it goes back in, and it's always available no matter where you go on the website, and you just put your mouse over it, it will just pop out. It doesn't occupy a lot of screen real estate, but it's there. So you don't never have to hunt, where's my shopping cart, and how many items do I have, what's my total. You want to make a clear path for the customer to go and check out. So that's one, and you can see on sites like Office Depot, they do it. So if you're selling an item that comes in shapes and sizes and colors and options, one thing that most shopping carts and e-commerce solutions do not provide is ability to edit those options. Most of the time, you'll have to say, if I'm buying a trench coat and it has color and sizes, people often change their mind. Shopping is not about, it's shopping, it's not purchasing, So people change their mind, and if you don't make it easy for them to change their mind at any time, they may drop out. So by having a tool like this right inside your shopping bag, you can really help the customer check out without abandoning the cart. And this is something that sounds simple, sounds pretty intuitive. However, a lot of us don't do it. It's like using a eye-catching call to action button. How many sites you go to and see buy button is the same color as the add to wish list, is the same color as something else, and you don't even know what you're supposed to click on. So using these simple tips and tricks, you can actually clear the path for the customer to buy from you. A little bit of the social here, which is persistent shopping cart. How many times do you go to a website and add something to the cart, and because you did not complete your purchase and you go back 2 days later and the cart disappeared, and now you don't even know what product you wanted to buy, where to go and find it, and you actually go back to Google and reinitiate your search. So this is a letdown by the website, because they've lost you. They brought you in, they spent the money in Google AdWords, you paid for the click, and then because you didn't complete the purchase, they lost you. So have a persistent shopping cart that has an expiration at least, I'd say minimum 30 days. Do not expire the cart before 30 days. And then let the customer add items to the wish list or social shopping list. Like on Amazon, like I will come across somebody who will recommend a book. I'm not ready to buy that yet because I've got 10 other books that are waiting to be read, but I'll probably add it to my wish list because it's a reminder for me that in the future I might want to buy that. So people use these tools in a variety of ways that you may not even imagine. And you as a merchant gets almost a preview, almost a forecasting information as to what people might be buying if you harness this data. So that's to use that intelligently. What's selling, what's not, and what's coming down the pipe. And then social sharing with friends, that's another good tool to have. And registries if your product lends itself for writing the registry and so on. Cross-sell and upsell. We talked about personalization. If you were to do one thing about personalization, this would be my #1 tip. And even if it is manually, make sure you provide recommendations, cross-sell and upsell. So if I'm buying a keyboard, let's recommend a mice, a headset, and speakers and so on. And if I can bump the ante by saying free shipping on orders over $100 and the keyboard costs $70, there's a high likelihood that that customer will actually upgrade their average order size. Conditional messaging. This is something that Amazon does really well. This is a little more of an advanced tactic, but it works. So I've got $70 worth of stuff in my shopping cart and I get free shipping if I add another 30. We as consumers need to be told. We need to be told that put on $30 worth of stuff. We can't do the math in our own head because consumers are too busy, their lives are too complicated. They need to be reminded. And then if you put conditional messaging, that really will help you accomplish those average order size goals that you have or whatever promotion that you're running. Alternate payment methods. So if you're not on Amazon, you don't have a big brand, how do customers trust you? Well, #1, obviously, by the look and feel of your website. That's one way to win a customer's trust. But even then, a lot of customers who've had a bad experience, like they had the credit card stolen, which I'm sure has happened to most of us, or at least you've had your credit card replaced, if not stolen, because identity theft is so common. People trust sites like PayPal, Google Checkout, Bill Me Later. So if I'm buying on a site and a merchant that I do not fully know or trust, I will most likely like to check out using a PayPal option as opposed to your native checkout. And especially if it's an international website. So this is a great idea. You can implement that very easily, very quickly, and it can easily give you at least double-digit lift in your conversion. Cross-channel, multi-channel integration, very important. So if you have a brick and mortar store and you're not leveraging that along with your online channel, you're at a serious disadvantage. In fact, you're worse off than somebody who did not have a brick and mortar store. And you're stocking all this merchandise and paying for all that showroom space. You got to implement that cross-channel, and cross-channel customers spend a lot more. So an example is JCPenney. For example, they have gift cards or the JCPenney card. You should be allowed to use that online as well as in the store, if you can. And the bottom example is from Amazon, Walmart.com, which is their site-to-store program. So if you can actually have the product shipped free to any of the Walmart stores and pick it up from a local Walmart, and that's completely free to you. And they've integrated that really well. So a lot of multiplier effect by taking advantage of channel integration. Something, again, very simple. A lot of us don't do. A lot of merchants don't do that. First thing that people want to know when they're on the product page, do you have it in stock and when will it ship? By just adding these two pieces of information, you'll improve your conversion. It could be as simple as in stock and ships within 2 days or ships the same day or whatever, just to reassure the customer it makes a difference. Because even if you were 5% higher than somebody else, the chances are that the customer might buy from you because they don't have the time or patience to wait on a call center line to confirm that information by calling the other retailer if you had this prominently displayed. Now, once you're in the shopping cart, how do I move this customer all the way through checkout? Well, let's display the security marks and the trust marks. That's, unless you're Amazon, trust is never taken for granted. They want to know that your site is secure. And a couple of ways to do that is your SSL certificate, the VeriSign seal that you have at the top, and then the secure lock that you can display. Just putting those marks up there is very important. And when you're on this page, you as a consumer, what questions do you have? Return policy. What if I don't like it? What are my chances? What are my options? Instead of hiding that and now the customer clicks somewhere else, goes to a different page and gets distracted and so on, let's put it up right there at the bottom. What is your warranty? What is your return options? What are your shipping policies and what have you? And open them in a pop-up so that this window does not get lost. That's a way to get this customer moving further along. And site search, that's huge. If you're selling a lot of items, or even, for example, if you're selling chairs and you have 200 chairs, how does the customer decide which one they want to buy? Most often we don't know a SKU or a UPC code that we're looking for. Those are our procurement agents. They know what they're going to buy. Here you're shopping. There's a difference between shopping and purchasing. So shopping process involves giving you the tools to help you locate the right product. So if I was shopping for chairs, I might want to filter by material, whether it's leather or if it's something else, or by price, by brand, by a bunch of other parameters. By making this conveniently available and letting the customer drill down, you will help them narrow down their choices, even if it's a very large catalog. And the customers love it. This is a new feature that's more recently introduced on e-commerce sites called guided navigation. Empty cart, okay, customer typed in something in your site search, you don't have a valid match. Now, most search results pages, it will be a blank page, say nothing found, no results found, 3 words. You've lost that customer. Now they're going back to Google. But we have an opportunity to sell them something else. Let's guide them. It's a simple thing. It's almost like a site map, in a way. If you put that at the bottom of that page, you have a chance of recovering and give them some help options. And second, if you want to go one step further, dig up this data so you know what keywords are resulting in 0 results, and then you can do something about it. Either you start carrying that product or you know what people are coming and searching. So another simple trick that can, and then these are some additional tips that free shipping, that works. Almost, I think, 70% of the retailers during the holiday season offered free shipping. But you need to do it wisely. Provide immediate visual feedback on promotional discounts. If I give you a discount for 15% and you apply it on your shopping cart, but I can't see the discounted amount, so it gets lost and I got distracted, I actually forget about the discount you offered, and if I come back in the future visit, you've actually lost that credibility and lost that credit that you had established earlier, because you're not giving me that visual feedback that the price is crossed out, instead of $100 is $85. Shopping cart abandonment recovery email. I don't know if you've ever received, if you went to a website, put something in the cart, left, and 2 hours later they send you an email, hey, here's a 10% off coupon to go and complete your purchase today. That's a new technology. They call it, it's a form of transactional email. You can implement that very easily now. It's a retargeting technique that first step you might want to simply say, hey, was there a problem? Can we help you? Number 2, maybe 2 days later, you can send them an email. Here's a 5% off coupon if you complete your purchase today. That's another way of bringing their customer back. And then finally, there is no ultimate truth in e-commerce that applies to all sites. These are just tips and tricks. I hope some of these apply to you. You got to test. And there are a number of testing tools out there. And finally, just a little something about what we do, so that how am I qualified to speak on some of this stuff so I run a company called GoECart. We provide an e-commerce, it's an end-to-end e-commerce application suite that allows you to do both your website storefront, and it's connected in with the order management system. It's a complete suite that allows you to manage your website and your back office, all from a single cloud-based web application. Thank you.